Bill here. We're having a super Sabbath on this great middle of the month of December. I want to thank you for watching today. We're going to talk about understanding Rosh Chodesh, and before we get in this message, we're going to pray the great Hebrew prayer called the Avot to put the seal on the Word of God so that the seed is protected in your heart and ours. So if you're ready, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Emotenu. Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov. Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah. Ha'el, Hagedol, Hagibor v'Hanorah. El Elyon Gomel Kasadim Tovim. V'konei hakol v'zoker kasadei avot v'imahot. Umeavi ge'ula livnei v'nehem lama'an shemo ba'ahava. Melech ozir u'mashiach u'magain. Baruch atah Adonai magain Avraham v'Izrat Serah. See, we want to put that avot v'imahot on the seed of the word to protect it so that the birds can't come and steal it from your heart and mind. So we're going to talk about understanding Rosh Chodesh today. Had a great Rosh Chodesh on Wednesday, and I'm thinking about trying to work out a time when we can film our entire Rosh Chodesh service and put it up for you. Couldn't do it on Wednesday, but we're going to try to work that schedule out over the holiday period here at the end of the year so that you can see how a Rosh Chodesh goes and you can understand more about what I'm talking about. Now, there are not very many verses in the Bible about Rosh Chodesh. God has given us this amazing thing called the new moons, and there's a lot of secrets in there, but they're not open in the Bible, meaning that some things you got to dig them out. Some are plain. You keep the Sabbath. You don't do this. You don't do that. You don't do yonder. But the new moon is, I think, purposely vague. And I think he left it purposely vague so that through the church ages we could discover things from our own. You know, in the Bible it says that it's the glory of God to conceal a matter, and it's the glory of kings to search it out. We may not be kings over territory, but it's our glory to search out great gems from the Bible. Amen. So there's not a lot in the Bible about what to do on Rosh Chodesh. We're going to start in Isaiah 66, one of the more important verses on this great Rosh Chodesh, the new moon, keeping the new moon. You know, the Lord kind of moved on us to do this many times through the years, but for the longest time we worked on all three shifts, some first, some second, some third, and there wasn't a time outside of Sabbath that we could get together for church. And eventually, when the Lord kind of prodded us enough, I decided, well, second shift people are off in the daytime, third shift people are off in the daytime, and first shift people take a lunch at 12 o'clock. So why don't we do it at 12 o'clock, and that way first shift people can at least get in with their offering. And we kind of stuck with that. In verse 60, Isaiah 66, in verse 23, he's talking about the new heavens and the new earth, and he says, from one new moon, that's Rosh Chodesh in the Hebrew, and from one to another, and from one Sabbath to another, all mankind is going to come and bow before him. So he's pretty serious about this, that all mankind is going to observe the new moons. And one reason we didn't do it in the past is when you go to Leviticus 23, it's not listed among the holy days. It's not a day you're commanded you cannot work, but it's a day you're told to observe. So a lot of the verses in the Bible are prophetic. And in Isaiah, he says, your new moons and your appointed assemblies, I despise them. I can't stand them. But that's not for keeping the new moon. That's for the sin in their life. These were such sinful people that when they came for the appointed feast of the Most High God, he didn't like it. You're supposed to come to him clean. You're supposed to come to him, holy and righteous. You're supposed to live by his commandments. Now, this one's telling us that in the millennial reign, everybody's going to do this. The only other place where there's any real instruction is in Numbers 28. So Numbers 28 and Numbers 29 are talking about the offerings to be made on certain days. And so, that's why I tell people, when you bring your new moon prayers, your Rosh Chodesh prayers, at least put $1 with it. At least put $1 with it. because you're supposed to make an offering on that day. And then I have some people give me wads of coins. Now look, you're really, really poor. Okay, children, I'm down. Man, you're grown up. Give me at least a paper dollar bill. Don't make me fool with a big wad of coins at the bank and they're falling all over the ground and I'm losing them. And then I get up to the window and the deposit doesn't balance anymore because I've lost some coins. Be good to your bookkeeper. He works for free. Now, Numbers 28, you have, starting the listings, the daily offering. There's a daily burnt sacrifice. There's the Sabbath offerings. There's two burnt offering for this day for the Sabbath. Then he comes to monthly offerings. Now, my Bible has a heading that says monthly offerings. That doesn't mean a monthly offering. That means Rosh Chodesh. That's the new moon. So it says here, on the first day of every month, verse 11, present to the Lord a burnt offering. And then he lists out the animals that are to be killed and sacrificed to the Lord. 2 bulls, 1 ram, 7 male lambs, all without defect, and of course with their grain offering and their wine offering. But I just want to point out to you that this is virtually the same as every holy day listed here. It's the same as unleavened bread. It's the same as Shavuot. It's the same as the Feast of Trumpets. So why is it that the new moon has the same level of offerings as a holy day when it's not a holy day? And I think it's because Rosh Chodesh, or the new moon, is tied directly to Rosh Hashanah. Now, and then following up here at the end, verse 15, besides the regular burnt offering with its drink offering, 1 male goat is to be presented to the Lord as a sin offering. Excuse me. Now, these offerings are where we extracted the high praise. This is how we extracted high praise. So we have 8 praises unique to the Father, 7 praises unique to Yeshua, 3 praises because he gave us the Holy Spirit, and 1 praise for each of the 7 church eras. And this is why we take communion, because there was a goat for a sin offering, and the only thing we have for a sin offering is to take communion. So this is why we structured it the way we did. Now, there are some verses concerning the history of King David. King David thought Saul was trying to kill him, and he was. So he told his friend Jonathan, he says, look, I tell you what, I'm going to cut class on Rosh Chodesh, and if your dad blows a rod, then I know I can't come back. Just tell him I got a family emergency. I'm paraphrasing here. And if he blows up, then I know I ain't coming back. So sure enough, David didn't show up. Saul blew a rod. David's like, I ain't going back. So it all worked out. And then, like I said, there's some prophetic verses, most of which are condemning the people for their sin. And God is saying, because you sin so badly, your new moon offering is an affront to me. It's an offense. Well, okay, note to self, don't sin so badly that when you keep Sabbath and holy days and new moons that it's an offense to God. Keep a righteous life, stay repentant. We take communion. We got the sacrifice of Yeshua Messiah. Stay right with the Lord so that when you come to the holy days and the Sabbath and Rosh Chodesh, it's pleasing to the Lord, your obedience. So pretty simple. Now, the only thing they really told us was sacrifice a lot of animals. Now, look, I love barbecue too, right? But it doesn't really tell me how to run the service. And so I was putting this together, it kind of dawned on me that maybe the Lord left it vague, kind of letting each of the church eras dig something new and exciting out of the Word to apply to Rosh Chodesh. And then maybe when we're all gathered together in the rescue, we can compare notes and put together something really powerful. Amen? So, when the Lord taught us about Yom Teruah, the Feast of Trumpets, or Rosh Hashanah, He taught us about Rosh Chodesh. It really has to do with the Feast of Trumpets. I mean, more than you think. And so on Rosh Hashanah, the Feast of Trumpets, I keep throwing all these words around because they all mean the same thing. I just want you to get familiar with the terms Yom Teruah and Rosh Hashanah and the Feast of Trumpets. It's all the same thing, there's just different names for it. He judges the world. Well, we used to teach that he was going to judge the world. But we overlooked ourselves there for a long time that, hey, So I want to go to Isaiah 11. I'm going to show you that Jesus is going to judge the world. Now, some will quote to me the passage where someone asked him to decide a dispute, and he said, hey, who appointed me judge? I didn't come to judge. Okay, well, when he came the first time, he didn't come to judge, but when he's coming back, he's judging. Amen? So all the young kids say, don't judge me. No, he's going to judge you all right. Yeah, good luck with that. He's going to judge you. What they're doing is they're misusing the word. They're saying, don't condemn me. Well, it depends on what you're doing. Amen? I mean, some of the stuff y'all do, I mean, it's condemnation worthy, and, we're old enough to do it. All right, so Isaiah 11, verse 3. Talking about Yeshua, he will not judge by what he sees with his eyes. So you're not going to pull the wool over him. You're not going to trick him up. Or decide by what he hears with his ears. Your good stories aren't going to cut it. But with righteousness, he is going to judge the needy. So it doesn't say he's not going to judge. It's saying that you're not going to be able to trick him. He's going to see right through all your little stuff, and he's going to judge with righteousness. With justice, something none of us wants, by the way, he will give decisions for the poor of the earth. He's going to strike the earth with the rod of his mouth, and with the breath of his lips, he's going to slay the wicked. Okay, so note to self, I want to be on the other side of that. I don't want to be on that side of it. I want to be on Yeshua's side. Righteousness will be his belt. So he's telling you what he's going to do when he comes back. So all these people looking at Jesus to come back as that limp-wristed, effeminate Englishman that's just going to let everything slide, that ain't who coming back. I know that was incorrect English, by the way, did on purpose. That ain't who coming back. The one that's coming back is going to be this guy, and he's coming back. You better be on his side of things. And faithfulness, the sash around his waist, which means faithful means he's not going to let you slide. Right? So these verses here are telling you Yeshua's going to judge the earth. Okay, so once we figured it out, we decided, why don't we just go ahead and bring our year to him for judgment now? Amen? Why don't we bring it to him for judgment now? Why wait until we're on the wrong side of things to figure it out? Why not get on the right side of things now while it's still in the day of grace? Because when he comes back, it ain't going to be grace anymore. Oh, yeah. See, no one's telling people that. All right. For 1 Peter chapter 4, what should be a memory verse. I mean, memory verses. Back today we used to memorize verses, but when I say memory verse, I mean something we've gone over so many times, you just ought to come right to mind. 1 Peter 4 and verse 17. Peter speaking says, for it now is the time for judgment to begin on the house of God. So understanding that, he taught us to bring our year to him for judgment. Right? So why wait until the whole thing's completely blown up in your life? Why not let's just bring it every year to Yeshua? Let's get a judgment. The beautiful thing about this is when you come on Rosh Hashanah, Feast of Trumpets, that nighttime service, you've got your year you're presenting to him. Why not ask him, Lord, what could I have done better? Why not use the judgment of Yeshua to teach you how to be better at who you are and to get more fully on board for his program? And then when we come with our upcoming year in the daytime, why aren't we getting with the Lord and going, you know what I'm saying? Even though I didn't say a word. You know what I'm saying? Lord, maybe? Huh? Yeah, maybe. You see, when we get in the Lord's program with him, things are going to work out better for us. Even things that look bad, as I was thinking yesterday, how many things in my life have gone wrong and how the Lord has blessed me so much that even the worst things always turn out to be a blessing. Even the worst things. The biggest catastrophes always turn into a blessing for me. It's because I serve Yeshua. And I serve him with all my heart. And we were talking about in fellowship last weekend. I only do it if he tells me. So that kind of puts me in a good place. Amen. All right. So when we started learning this, he said, why wait till the end of the year and try to cobble it all together 2 days before Rosh Hashanah? I mean, a lot of us got gray hair. None of us are going to remember November and August. Forget about September. You know what I'm saying? He said, do it month by month. Do it every month. Then you don't have to worry about remembering November and August. If you want to go look up November, you open your book and you look in there and there's November. Now I'm going to step aside real quick. I'm going to be right back. All right, I'm back. So my month of Kislev is in this book, along with my praise to Yeshua for the things that he allowed me to do, and my request for the month of Tevet, which started on Wednesday. When I get home, I'm going to take this book. I'm going to take all of Kislev out, and I'm going to put it in my Rosh Hashanah book. I'm going to book it. Then it's already there. I don't have to worry about Kislev. Kislev's in the book. And then if I want to write a praise for Kislev, all I got to do is look in the book and look at the prayer, and there it is. Bingo. Done. See how easy that is? And the best part about Rosh Chodesh is, since I've been doing this for a long time, I don't have to make a new prayer for each month. I just have to edit and print the last one. Oh, see, that's beautiful. See how easy that gets? But all you got to do is edit and print a prayer, man. You're in high cotton. All right. Every bookkeeper knows that a month is the closing unit of time. By that, what I mean is that at the end of every month, every bookkeeper closes and balances all the accounts and makes all the adjusting entries, and then you're ready to resume business for the new month. Amen? A month is a closing unit. So when Yeshua is telling us to do this, month by month, which is really moon by moon, right? Because month comes from moon. He's not telling us anything new. As a matter of fact, elections in the United States are held on the first Tuesday after the first Monday. Well, it's a simple formula. People get confused by it. But let me explain to you what it meant. There weren't many employees in this country when it started. Almost everybody owned their own business. Your whole family worked in the business. No matter what it is you did, whether you were a cobbler or a blacksmith or a cooper or a Wainwright, I don't know what these terms are. Whatever it is you did, you were in business. Your wife and your children showed up for work every day in your business. It was the family business. Everybody worked there. It's how everybody earned their living. It's how all the wealth was produced in the family. Everybody went to work every day. Very few people showed up and got a paycheck. Therefore, elections could not be held on the first day of any month because everybody had to close their books on the first day of the month and would not be able to go and cast a ballot. See, we forget all these little things, right? Because they're all computerized. Somebody else does it. I show up, give me my check, I'm gone. But every business is based on the month or the moon. Every business in America. When I sold cars, you didn't get paid commission every time you sold a car. They closed the books at the end of the month, and on the 10th, you got your settle-up check. It's just the way that went. So we brought goals to Yeshua for a year at Rosh Hashanah. And their annual goals are too easily forgotten. They're thrown into the desk, into the drawer. I was going to grab one of the calendars here. I don't think I put a Holy Day calendar up here, but just like the Holy Day calendars I give everybody, they go in the drawer and they get forgotten about. Then bad old Shults comes along and goes, it's Teshuvah. You're like, oh man, yeah, those goals. Oh man. Well, there's a calendar. See, yeah, he's got his. See, we just throw them in the drawer. We forget about them, right? Out of sight, out of mind, done. But these are the things that allow us to gain control of our lives. These are the things that allow Yeshua to get into our life and turn our circumstance around. I tell Denise all the time, it relates to a lot of people in my life, not necessarily church people, but if you want a different result, you got to try something different. People want a different result, but they keep doing the same thing. But the corollary to that is if you want the same thing everybody else gets, do the same things they do because it's going to turn out exactly the same as it does for them. If you want something different, a different result, you've got to try something different. Amen? That's a hard concept for people. I know that, but so on Rosh Chodesh, you bring your whole month, everything you've done in your life, everything that's valuable in your life. You bring it on Rosh Chodesh. If you wrote prayers, you bring your copy. You submit it on Rosh Chodesh. If you did a message, you message notes, etc., you offer it to him. Then you book it for Rosh Hashanah. In other words, don't forget those goals. Eagerly look month by month to accomplish something that month. Like, for instance, I look at my goals, and I've already got plans for Tevet. Right? This is the month of Tevet. I'm going to try to accomplish certain things. There's a little bit of uncertainty for me because I just retired, so now I'm not certain how that's going to look. But I know how that little packet of time used to work. Now, Rosh Chodesh is how to get Yeshua involved in this. Right? How many of you know when you have to do everything on your own, by yourself, it sometimes is kind of difficult? How about if Yeshua's working in there with you? Why don't we get Yeshua in there working with us on our goals, amen, and helping us to achieve the things we got to achieve? Goals are hopes, right? You write a goal, you're hoping. Plans are what the action you're going to take to kind of get it there, get it done. Plans are like turning hopes into reality, amen. Let's start in Proverbs 16. Proverbs 16. In verse 3, commit to the Lord whatever you do, and your plans will succeed. Bring them to him on Rosh Hashanah. That's a great start, right? And obviously the holy days, and getting over that, so you can pretty much kiss the month of Tishri goodbye. Let's just be fair. You're not going to get nothing done after Tabs either. You're going to go home. You're going to get your life going again. Tishri's kind of like a wash, right? And sometimes Nisan is also. But when you come out of the gate at Kislev, I mean not Kislev. Is it Chesvan? Chesvan's next, right? When you come out at Chesvan, man, you ought to be smoking hot, ready to knock off a couple of them things. Ching, 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 ching. Or how about the goals that take several months to accomplish? Have you broken something down? In time management, they call it the salami principle. A salami's like this big. No one sits down and eats a salami. They slice it. They slice it. 3 or 4 slices on a sandwich. 3 or 4 slices on a sandwich. 3 or 4 slices on a sandwich. You don't eat the salami, you eat slices, and next thing you know, it's gone and you got to get another one. So when you break your goals down into slices, then it's not so daunting, because what happens is it's so big you just put it off. Right? I don't have the 10 hours to do this project. I'm just going to put it off. And then you lose the little bits of time where you could have taken a slice off that thing. Right? The Lord's taken me through the school on this many, many times, and you have 10 minutes or 20 minutes, and the default position is to go over there and try to get you a little cat nap, right? That's the default position, amen. I just want to, even if all I do is just turn it off and it's just, I'm googly-eyed for a minute, it's all like that. But if you'll take that 10 to 20 minutes and you already know, you got your stuff all ready to go, you say, you know what? I can set this up for tomorrow. I can set this up for the day after tomorrow. You take your little odd pieces of junk. I call it junk time. You can't really do much on it, but you can take a little slice off that salami. Maybe tomorrow you get a shot where you can take 2 slices off. If you'll take those opportunities, then those 3 and 4 hour blocks will appear. But instead of, it's not enough and I got to get started, it's going to take me. See, by that time you've done so much that when you get a piece of time, you're going to be excited to jump on something you really want in your life. This is pretty cool stuff, actually. She's ready for a paperclip. I know it. I knew it. I even said that. I even told them that in Corinth. Now, in verse 9, it said, in his heart a man plans his course, but the Lord determines his steps. So we plan our course, and the Lord determines your steps. Okay, well, this is oftentimes used as an excuse not to make any plans. But they're looking at it wrong. If we're making our plans with Yeshua, we just read where commit to the Lord, whatever you do, your plans will succeed. If you have committed your plans to Him, if He's involved with you helping make your goals, I mean, we all have things we need and want out of life, right? Well, they don't just accidentally show up. You know, I used the car metaphor, right? You know, some people just want to pray and the car shows up in the driveway, but that's not how anybody I've ever known to get a car. Trust me, I tried it, okay? So it's not like I didn't try it. And the Pentecostals will tell you, well, you didn't believe enough. No, I believe plenty. I believe plenty. If my God can create the universe because He said bang, bam, just like that, and there's a whole universe here, He can make cars show up in my driveway. That ain't an issue for Him. I got plenty of faith and I got plenty of belief. But so far, He ain't ever done that. And let me explain this to you. I'll break it down for the people hard of hearing out there in TV lands. I know all y'all know this by heart. We serve a Jewish Jesus, and that's not how it works. The Jewish Jesus is going to help you get a job, and the Jewish Jesus is going to help you save money toward the down payment. That's how our God works. Amen? He's not just going to go, bam, and there's a car like that. If it ever happens for you, I want to know because I need to go to school because trust me, I've tried that. You don't know how many times I've tried that. More than a few. So the Lord determines our steps. So let's go to Yeshua monthly on the new moon when He said to, right? He didn't say to go in the middle of the month. Hey, man, Lord, I need some help. Now, look, people say, misquote me and say, Pastor Bill said don't go to the Lord in the beginning of the month. Or they'll say, Pastor Bill said don't pray any time other than the new moon. I say either one of those things. What I'm telling you is get into Jesus' cycle for your life. And when your timing matches His timing, things go a lot better for you. Amen? People talk about the perfect timing of the Lord. He wrote it down in a book. He wrote the cycle down in a book. All we got to do is get in the cycle and roll with the plan. Amen? It's amazing when we follow the instructions. Now, ladies, y'all know you fuss at men. No man ever follows the instructions. Well, it's kind of like a code of honor that we're not allowed to follow instructions until the third time it don't work out. Y'all don't know that, but you didn't go to little boy school. All right, so, but when it comes to church, everybody's in little boy school because nobody wants to follow the plans in the book. If we follow the instructions, it works the first time, every time, and you don't have no parts left over. Well, that's a trick right there. All right. Of a certainty, they won't get better on their own. You know, I used to say if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. I got that from somebody else, by the way. That's commonly kicked around, the planning things. I tell you what, I was telling them in Corinth. I said, you know, the two things people need the most are how to manage their time and how to manage their money. But those are the two sermons everybody hates to sit in the most. I even talked about Lanice. She dug a paper clip out. I said, Lanice will have a paper clip stuck to her forehead and a pencil hanging out of her nose when I start teaching on this. And there it is. She got it hanging off her forehead right now. So the two sermons that will make the most difference in people's lives for the better, the two sermons everybody needs to hear the most are the two nobody wants to touch with a 30-foot pole. A way to clear the church, tell them we're going to talk about financial planning next week. There won't be a soul up in this place. I'd be able to come up in here and take a nap. Yeah. But now I'm going to tell you like this. If you fail to involve Yeshua in your activities, the devil will dominate them. We're in a different time now. We're not in the quiet time when it's just if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Now we're in a time where the spiritual warfare is so intense that if you don't have Yeshua involved in your activities, the devil's going to dominate you. And so when it comes to time management, it goes like this, guys. If you don't govern your time and manage it, the devil's going to dominate your time and you're going to be miserable. There's not a third option. It's a toggle switch. You manage your time and take control of your minutes, or the devil's going to dominate your life. And trust me, you ain't going to like it nary a bit. And so that's why the Lord keeps coming back to this same topic over and over again, because the devil has too much control in the lives of the people of God because we're not paying attention and we're just reacting. When you're reacting, the devil's the one calling the shots and you're reacting to his plays. You're not making your plays and making him react to you. It's just that simple. I know we don't want to do it that way. I know we don't want to think of it that way. But you know what? In all reality, we're talking about taking 10 to 15 minutes a day, and everybody has that. We're talking 10 to 15 minutes a day with a list. It's just that simple. Now, look, you're going to have test days. You're going to have test months. What I mean by that is you're going to have a day where you've prayed, you got Yeshua in the game, you've laid out the best plans you got. You're going to jump out there, and the devil is going to sack you 20 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and you're going to hurt real bad when you get up. The test days are out there, okay? The question is not whether test days are out there. The question is whether you get up and run the next play. That's the question. The question is not of a month and I didn't get any of it done, because I have those months too, by the way. I have those months where I have set a good prayer, I have laid a good plan, and I have come to Rosh Chodesh. I put my offering in there. I got behind it. I jump out in the month, and I'm going to make it happen, buddy. I got the Lord with me, and nothing can stop me. And the devil is, oh, what happened? Oh, that hurt. Oh, I need some pain meds. Okay, those are test months, right? You're going to have test months. The question is not about the test months. The question is whether you come back the next month and, okay, oh, you want a piece of that? I'm back. I'm back. And so that's kind of the way you have to look at it. Amen. Look, I've had test years too, right? Who hadn't had a test year? Anybody not had a test year? Yeah, everybody's had a test year. The question is whether you come back on next. You see what I'm saying? You're going to have tests. You're gonna be put to the test. The Lord has to do it. You know why the Lord has to do it? The Lord's going to test us because we have to know what's in here. We don't know what we have. We don't know what we're made of. He's got to put us in that circumstance so that the greatness He built inside of us can come to the surface. And it can't do that while everything's going well. It takes discipline to make yourself do anything which will benefit you. Doesn't matter what it is. If it's going to benefit you, it's going to take discipline. Proverbs 13 and verse 18. He who ignores discipline comes to poverty and shame. You see that, right? But whoever heeds correction is honored. So since we live under a time of judgment, not condemnation, why aren't we going to Yeshua all the time with everything? Every month. I mean, sit down with your life. Maybe you take an hour once a month. Open up those statements that we throw in the drawer and don't want to look at. And you and the Lord get you a cup of coffee, get your tallit, put some music on, and have a little talk. Have a little talk with the Lord. Trust me, He will tell you what He wants you to do different. Oh, trust me, He will tell you what He wants you to do different. But at that point, you got to write it down because you're responsible for it. That's why people say, well, that's why I'm not going to do it. I don't want to be responsible. But here's the thing. If the Lord's telling you what He wants you to do different, those things are going to put the prosperity in your life. Why do you not want to do what the Lord is telling you? Because it's where the wealth comes from. Look, I retired Thursday. I'm 62. And I'm going to tell you right now, most of what I intended to do, most of my plans blew up in my face like Wile E. Coyote. The Lord's the one that gave me the wealth to retire. Hey! So get in the plan, right? I mean, when all else fails, He'll truck you to the front of the line. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a can't-lose deal. What did Michael Jordan say? And I like that. I just can't lose, and I like that. Thinking out your life, setting those goals, and following up with plans for action requires discipline. If you want better results in your life, you got to try something different. It doesn't matter what stage of life you are, right? You're still breathing, right? Everybody still breathing? Got a pulse? Then your life can be better if you get in God's program than it is right now. Amen. Proverbs 14, verse 23. A verse nobody likes. But I kind of like this verse. All hard work brings a profit. A profit. But mere talk leads only to poverty. So this is the difference between seeing the results and not. If you only talk about it, but you never do anything, What did they quote me in Corinth? Faith without works is dead. Faith without works is dead. I believe the Lord is going to bless me. Therefore, I'm getting out of the bed and I'm going to work because I believe the Lord is going to bless me. Then when I get the money, I have to believe the Lord is going to bless me and sit down with a pencil and see how much of it I can save so that I can retire because I'm tired of working. See, this is how this goes, right? Until I have an older audience. So we started this a few years ago, and it's amazingly easy. Like I said, it's a simple written prayer that you only have to edit and print after you get it drafted. It's not that difficult. Just edit it, right? So essentially, the things you're asking for this month, you're going to praise Him for giving you next month. And then you're going to ask for the new things for the new month. It's just pretty simple, amen? Proverbs chapter 9 and verse 10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. So I had a real good friend of mine sit down and say, oh man, the Lord's really been impressing me on the fear of the Lord, the fear of the Lord. And he would never let me tell him what it is. The fear of the Lord is keeping Sabbath, keeping the holy days, following the dietary laws, and tithing. That's the fear of the Lord. That's the fear of the Lord. And it brings wisdom. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. So Sabbath, holy days, dietary, tithing, fear of the Lord brings wisdom. Wisdom. For through me your days will be many, and years will be added to your life. If you are wise, your wisdom will reward you. Oh, come on, don't we like a good reward? Who doesn't like a good reward? And the point about getting Yeshua's in your life is how many times have we gone and worked our tail off and there was nothing there at the end of the deal? But when Yeshua's in it, even when there's nothing at the end of the deal, He's going to give you something because He said, I'm going to reward you. The thing is, He wants to see us. Look, it's just like, I deal with a lot of people like this, not church people, by the way. But they're not willing to put any time and calories on their own problem. And I'm thinking, if you're not going to put time and calories on it, I sure don't need to put any time and calories on it. And I think the Lord looks at us the same way, right? If we're not willing to put time and calories on bettering our own circumstances, the prophets just said He'll cut your calories off. And that has happened. We know people, So, it's like if you're not willing to make an effort, I think a lot of times the Lord just wants to see that we're willing to make an effort before He's going to open up His blessing. Amen? He wants to see an effort. Because if it really means something to us, we will put the effort on that. Amen? If it's something that you really want, you will burn some calories and you'll put some time on it. And then there's a lot of things we just talk about, and we don't willing to put any time and calories on them. And I just call those wishes. You're just wishing out loud. So everything Yeshua has taught us over the years has been fantastic, and it's enabled us to live better lives. Now see, I'll save that for a minute. Month by month, we come to Yeshua for help, knowledge, instruction, and wisdom. Proverbs 13 and verse 11. I started this as a young man in my 20s. What I'm teaching you, I started as a young man in my 20s. And now I'm an old man in my 60s. And I'm telling you, it works. Amen. It's not something I got in a book. It's not something somebody else told me. It's stuff that I got from doing it. Proverbs 13, verse 11. Dishonest money dwindles away. You might as well say get rich quick stuff dwindles away, right? How many people have you known win the lottery and they end up broker than they did before they got it because they didn't learn how to handle money? But he who gathers money little by little makes it grow. See, it's the being willing to pull $20 a paycheck, $30 a paycheck, depending on your circumstance, maybe $100 a paycheck, and putting it back and not touching it. And everybody and their third cousin is going to come to you, hey man, I need some money, man. I heard you got money. I need some money. I ain't a bank, fool. I ain't a bank. You need some money? Get a job. I got a job. Get a second one. You know how many times I worked 3 jobs? Do you know how many times I have worked 3 jobs? I have worked 3 jobs for the better part of my working career. 2 and 3 jobs, whatever it takes, right? You got a family at home, a wife depending on you, and little kids, just whatever it takes. Now, look, I know y'all know a lot of guys that don't have that viewpoint, by the way. And that's why they're not with you now. But, a real man is going to do whatever it takes to take care of his family because it's whatever it takes. It's relying on me. And, I used to be so bad that, when I worked at Southside, I got subsidized lunch, right? So for $1.25, I could get a full lunch. That was a real nice lunch too. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it because it was $30 a month. I couldn't do it. I couldn't take the money out of the grocery budget for me when my children don't have everything they need. I couldn't do it. I just bring whatever leftovers I could cobble together. I'd treat myself maybe once every couple of months, go hang out with the teachers and have lunch. But I mean, your family comes first. It's everything, right? After God. So growing your wealth, paycheck by paycheck, growing our wealth month by month, it's going to make you happy. It's going to make you happy. One of my daughters was sad one time. I said, pull out your money and look at it and make you happy. It will. When you're watching the balances improve month by month, it will make you happy. So they say, well, money won't buy happiness. Then how come 80% of the people with money report they're happy? And how come 80% of the people that are poor report they're unhappy? Now, that was unsolicited to a pollster in private. People that don't have money are not happy. Don't let them fool you when they say that. That's like whistling past a graveyard. People with money are happy. So let's be them. Let's have money and let's be happy. Look, I've been in both circumstances here. I've been really poor. I've been better off. I kind of like better off a whole lot better than I like really poor. When I lost my house and I was living in Mama Eunice's mother-in-law apartment, life was not good for me. We didn't have any groceries. I think I told you a story. Lenice was nursing Kyra at the time, and our daily protein allowance was 1 chicken leg quarter a day. That's all you got. And she took it. I didn't flinch. I let her have it. And she said, I need it. I said, I know. I went without. Trust me, I like this a lot better. I like being prosperous a lot better than want. Want is not fun. There's no redeeming value in poverty. None whatsoever. So once you get this every month on Rosh Chodesh, you're going to bring to Yeshua your past month, and you're going to offer it to him. Oh, great King of the saints, I'm so pleased to offer you the month of Kislev. Right? Every month you're going to offer it. And then you're going to take it home, you're going to book it. And then it's already in your Feast of Trumpets book. It's already ready to go. It's already in there. So when you get down to Rosh Hashanah, all your months are in there except Elul. Right? So then instead of having to scrap around 2 days before trumpets, Bill said we had to bring those books. Oh my goodness, what did I do this year? I don't even remember last week. You don't have to worry about it. It's in the book already. It's already in the book. You don't have to worry about it. If you want to remember, just open the book and read it because it's all up in there. You're going to feel good about your months. You're going to start feeling good about your months. You're going to look back and say, man, with the help of Jesus, look at what I did last month. Look at how things are going. You're going to come in on Rosh Hashanah. You're going to be walking around like, whoa, look at here. Instead of going, oh my goodness, I got this book and Billy made me do it. It's going to be, man, look what the Lord did for me this year. Oh man, if last year was that good, how good is it going to be next year? So it's going to change everything in your life. It's going to give you a positivity. It's going to give you some enthusiasm and some motivation because you're going to see progress for a change. Who don't want to see some progress? I think everybody could use some progress. That's going to make you feel like you really can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. And then it will be time to praise Yeshua. Amen? When you got months going like that, it's going to be time to sing his praises. Amen? Because we've already spent enough time doing it our way when it didn't work. Amen? He's our guide. He's our helper. He's our strength. Let's go to Psalm 100. A little short psalm. One my grandmother used to read to me when I was a little boy. Years later, I was telling my uncle about this, and he goes, are you talking about my mother? I said, yeah. No. I said, yeah, your mama. Your mama read this to me when I was a little boy. Psalm 100. Shout for joy to the Lord, all the earth. Worship the Lord with gladness. Come before him with joyful songs. Know that the Lord is God. It is he who made us and we are his. We are his people, the sheep of his pasture. You think about that one for a little bit. The sheep of his pasture. He's tending us. So why aren't we working with the shepherd? Enter his gates with thanksgiving and his courts with praise. Give thanks to him and praise his name. For the Lord is good and his chesed endures forever. His faithfulness continues to all generations. So when he's blessed your month and you know it, see, if you're not looking, you don't know it. If you're not paying attention, you don't know when you're blessed. That was the whole point when he started telling us about Rosh Teshuvah and getting ready for Rosh Hashanah, is to look at how I'm blessing you. You know, he gave the word to Prophet Nisa a long time ago now. Write down what I'm doing in your life every day. Every day you should see my hand at work in your life and write it down. Because he's working in our lives every day and we're just like clueless. We're never paying attention. We're never paying attention. Now, all of us are parents. When you got little kids and you give them something good and they just run off and play and they never acknowledge you, kind of puts the brakes on the next gift, doesn't it? But when you got a little kid that comes back and thanks you profusely and tells you how much they love you, then you're looking to buy another gift. When can I get down to Ollie's? I got to get something for... You see what I'm saying? It just changes the dynamic. When you finally achieve that long sought after goal that's been dodging you for years and you get it done, don't you want to come in here and praise the Lord for opening the way after all that hard work and effort? That praise is just going to well up in you, man. Psalm 103. I title a book this. Praise the Lord, all my soul. All my inmost being, praise his holy name. Praise the Lord, all my soul, and forget not all of his benefits. Who forgives all our sins and heals all our diseases, who redeems our life from the pit. Whether David knew it or not, he's talking about the lake of fire. He's not talking about a grave. He redeemed your life from the pit. Oh, aren't you happy? Oh, man. When you see them handful of people we know are going in there, you're going to be a lot happier than we are right now. Who crowns us with love and compassion, who satisfies our desires with good things. But see, we got to bring them to him, right? We got to bring those desires to him so that our youth is renewed like the eagles. The Lord works righteousness and justice for all the oppressed. He made known his ways to Moshe, his deeds to the people of Israel. This is a quote. This is a direct quote from God to Moses. The Lord is compassionate and gracious, slow to anger, abounding in love. He will not always accuse, nor will he harbor his anger forever. He doesn't treat us as our sins deserve, or repay us according to our iniquities. Oh, that's a place for a great shout of praise right there. Oh, we don't want no justice. That's what we want right here. We don't want to be treated as our sins deserve. Amen? For as high as the heavens are above the earth, so great is his love for those who fear him. Sabbath, holy days, dietary, and tithing. You fear him, then his love is great for you. And even in the second commandment, visits the sin of the fathers to the children of the third and fourth generation, but showing love and mercy to those. It's chesed, by the way. That's why it's love and mercy. He shows chesed to those who keep his commandments. That's where you want to be, right? That's the sweet spot. As far as the east is from the west, so far has he removed our transgressions from us. It's pretty far. As a father has compassion on his children, so the Lord has compassion on those who fear him. Sabbath, holy days, dietary, and tithing. You fear him, he has compassion on you. For he knows how we are formed. He remembers that we're dust. As for man, his days are like grass. He flourishes like the flower of the field. The wind blows over it, and it's gone. Okay, that's what I'm looking at. Right, I'm old now. That's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at being gone, and its place remembers it no more. Right? So I think about my family members that were in this city for decades and all the great things they did. They're dead and gone and no one remembers them anymore. No one remembers anymore. It's all over. Isn't that what Solomon said in Ecclesiastes? All the things that animate your life, the struggles, the loves, the feuds, the whole thing. It's just when it's gone, it is G-O-N-E gone. And it ain't coming back. No one remembers anymore. But from everlasting to everlasting, the Lord's love is with those who fear him. Oh, you think about that. From everlasting to everlasting, the Lord's love is with those who Sabbath, holy days, dietary, and tithing. See, well, you got to keep putting that in. Every time you see fear, you got to put that 4 in there. Isn't that what he did with Cornelius? Cornelius was a God-fearer. He was going to a synagogue. He kept Sabbath, holy days. He followed the dietary laws. He was tithing. That's why God chose him to be the first Gentile to get the baptism of the Holy Ghost. His righteousness with their children's children. So you want to pass on something good to your grandchildren? You just keep obeying God and it passes on because he says so right here. And with those who keep his covenant and remember to obey his precepts. The Lord has established his throne in heaven. His kingdom rules over all. Praise the Lord, you his angels, you mighty ones who do his bidding, who obey his word. Praise the Lord, all of his heavenly host, and you his servants who do his will. Praise the Lord, all his works everywhere in his dominion. Praise the Lord, O my soul. Now, Rosh Chodesh is a very simple and easy plan to organize your life. People said to me for the last several years many times, simple, Pastor Bill, simple. Rosh Chodesh is simple. Rosh Chodesh is simple. Month to month, you get God in your plans. You look at those annual lists, and some of them you may not get, right? Because, you know, when we first start making goals, we don't even know how to make goals. We don't know what's accomplishable in a year. And sometimes it just goes against you. Sometimes it should be easy, right in your grasp, and whoa, there it goes. What happened to this year? But it's simple, month by month. Yeshua, if you go to Leviticus 25, and we're going to go there, he gave us a plan of the 50-year Jubilee. The 50-year Jubilee. And there are 7 cycles of 7 years to make up a Jubilee. 7 cycles of 7 years. As a young man reading Torah, I saw that. Newly saved in the church. My life was a wreck from years of neglect. And I saw that cycle and I thought, I got to get in this cycle. And I don't really know how, because obviously in the 7th year I can't stop working because I'm indebted. I'm in the Babylonian mystery debt system. But I thought, you know what I can do? I can set up goals toward a 7-year cycle. Now that first cycle, my life was a wreck. It was all I could do to scrap around and just try to get some order into it. But in cycle number 2, I started looking at the cycles. Okay, cycle 2, these are my ages. These are the ages of my children. Cycle 3, these are my new ages. These are the ages of my children. And on with 4 and on with 5. Cycle 6 has been kind of hard getting my head around it because I wasn't expecting to retire. Then the Lord just kind of made it happen. Boom, there you go. But I will get my head around it. Yeshua judges our life annually. Rosh Chodesh is how to build that year. My Jubilee year since my conversion is when I turned 74 years old. So 12 years I'm at Jubilee. That'll be my Jubilee year. As a young man, I got this from the Torah. 7-year cycles, 1-year goals. And now he has taught us monthly progress toward those goals. I just did it annually for all those times in the early days. It's a very simple process to build a life worthy of the kingdom of God. It's a very simple process. That is the purpose, after all, of a human life, is building a life and a body of flesh that will enable us to serve the great King in the kingdom of God. So we have things that we think life is all about. I hear lots of young people, I just want to live my life. Okay, how'd that work out for Pinocchio? Not real well, right? I got another one. I mean, they used to read us these stories as children, right? I know I read under mine. How about the story of the grasshopper and the ant? Did that work out real well for the grasshopper? No, wintertime comes, amen. And the ants are down in the burrow, man. They got food for plenty. But the grasshopper can't fit in the hole. Besides, he's lazy. Nobody wants to feed him. You see what I'm saying? The purpose of life is to build a life worthy of your King. And he has given us talents and abilities. And oftentimes in our life, we just kind of let it go. But he's telling us that regardless of our age or our station, he's telling us right now, you know, my kingdom's coming. You see it. You see it coming. You feel it. Go ahead with what you got left and try to build something of value from my kingdom. Now, you know, I'm a novice at Facebook. Just got on it due to necessity a couple months ago. And this lady from Africa put this thing up about the kingdom is near. You had better be ready, because you can't get ready when it's time to go. You're ready and you go, or you're not ready and you stay. And I put a love on it. She didn't know how right she is. I got Edith writing an article about the same thing right now. I got Miss Niece getting word on the same thing right now. I used to say it for years. Ready or not, here he comes. So take what you have. Take 20 minutes. It might even be depressing, but it'll be all right. You can take some ibuprofen and get over it. Sit down and look at what you have in your life. And look at what you think you can do. And then get on your knees with Jesus. Because you know what? He has built talent and ability in me I didn't have any clue I had. He has put me in conditions and places where I was panic struck. You didn't see it. You're not on the inside. But you know what? He held my hand. He held my hand. He held my hand through it. He didn't deliver me from it. You hear what I'm saying? He didn't deliver me from it. He took my hand and walked me through it. Yeah, I've told you the story a lot of times about the banister at the Locust House over there. Somebody broke it and it was all falling apart and I had to fix it. Tearing it all down was easy. Then I realized I had no clue how to put this back together. But my God's a carpenter. And not only is he a carpenter, see, any carpenter could just done it quick and easy, probably a different way than he told me. But see, he had to tell a novice how to do it. He had to tell somebody stupid how to put that banister back up where it looked like something and would hold. Probably not the way he'd have done it, but the way he told me worked. And I got that banister up and got home in time for dinner. I'm just telling you, you serve a God who can help you to do anything you need to do, who can walk you through any problem you've got to walk through. And he'll hold your hand when he does it, and you will be a better person in the kingdom of God because of it. Amen? So, if for any reason you can't make Rosh Chodesh service, just leave your prayer and a tiny offering. Just leave it up here for us. I mean, we've been saying that forever. Just put the prayer up there, and we'll raise it up. We'll offer it. We'll blow the silver trumpets over it. And you, even if you can't be here for Rosh Chodesh, we got a mechanism for you to be in the system. Even when you can't, stop work and drive down here at 12 o'clock at lunchtime. Guys, that was fantastic. I hope you enjoyed it. We're going to try to film a Rosh Chodesh, even though it will not be on Rosh Chodesh. We're going to try to film a Rosh Chodesh service just to get it up on YouTube so that you can follow the service and go along with us. And we're going to keep you in here for just a minute so that we can close out the service with the Elenu and the Chodesh. I got a lot of comments on Facebook how several of y'all really like that. So we want you to be a part of the rest of the service. And so it's typical to open the ark with the Torah scroll before we say the Elenu. And if you're ready, Elenu l'shabeach la'adon hakol, la'teit gedulah le'yotzer bereshit, shilo asanu kegoye ha'razot, velo samanu kamishkapot ha'adama. Shalo Sam Kelkenu Kahem Vagoralenu Kekol Hamonam Vianaknu Korim Umishtakavim Umodim Lifnei Malek Malke Hamlakim Hakodesh Baruku. And then we sing a little short prayer called the V'nei Amar, which essentially is saying that Jesus is going to be king over all this earth, and he will be king in his name alone. V'nei Amar Vahaya Adonai Lemelik al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad ushamo echad. And we typically now remember the names of people who have passed. And so we have David Lindsay, who came here for quite some time. And then do we have any other names today? I don't have any names at the end of December. No. All right, so we'll say Kaddish for David Lindsay. Yit Gadal, V'yit Kadesh Shemei Rabbah, Be'alma Divra Kirute, V'amlik Malkute, Bekaye kon uv yome kon uv kaye dekol bayit Yisrael. Ba'agala ubisman kari vi. Amen. Yehe shemay rabah mavarak le'alam ulame almaya. Yit barak v'yishtabak. V'yit pa'ar v'yit romam v'yit naseh. V'yit hadar v'yit alay v'yit halal. Shemay de kudashah birakud. Le'ala min kol birkata v'shurata. Tushbikata v'nekamata. Da'amaran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehe shlama rabah min shemaya. V'kaim aleinu v'okol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Osei shalom bim ramav. Hu yasei shalom aleinu v'okol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Yosef Adonai Alekem, Alekem V'al B'Nekem, Berukim Atem LaAdonai, Osei Shemayim Va'aretz. May the Lord make you increase, both you and your children. May you be blessed by the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. God bless everybody. Thank you for watching today. The great deacon, Chris Faulkner, will be up next week, and we'll see you soon. God bless everybody. Good Shabbos.